All right, so the new Suncoast NANOLAB Bass Preamp. Really cool little piece. It's got some different mojo than the BC2 and the BC3 XL, both killer pedals. Actually, all three in the lineup all have excellent sound and tonal variation. This new little guy has it's different than the other two. I really like this. It's nice and compact. It's got, you could do the clean and distortion thing. It's basically what Jim from Suncoast did, was create the smallest BC1 bass preamp in a small pedal form. The BC2 and the BC3 XL, very great sounding pieces, and they're like the Cadillacs of his product line. But this little guy won't let you down either in the tone capability, big time. I'm actually very happy with it. This particular one. Has the G2 distortion mod and with the G1 tone stack in it. So what he did was he modified the red channel. The green channel is his stock, like, Pierce type sound. So check it out. I'm going to leave the mic on, so you'll probably hear some of my string noise in the room and the monitors. But flipping the mic on and off has been getting to be a problem. So here's the tone. Check it out. I'll turn off, let's say, I'll turn off the red channel. So here's my basic tone of my bass. Now I'm going to flip over to just the red channel. Here's just the distortion. You can hear the sustain in this thing is really cool. And I'm not even wailed on the drive yet. Put them both together. I'm going to turn up the drive. I'll shut off the green channel again. That's full drive. I cut the drive to 5. So you can hear the difference on how much push it's got. Sustained forever. I'll shut off the boost just to give you an idea of what this channel sounds like without it. Now I've got the low end rolled off right now because I'm using it as just kind of a mid-range distortion only. But check it out. If I put the drive back on, the boost rather, put my channels back on, I could turn off the boost. Hear the mids in there? Turn off that. Turn it back on. So you can hear the mid-range kind of sing a little more. So I could turn off that boost and go for more of a clean mid-range, or less distorted rather. Turn it back off. We're just playing basic stuff. So you get a little more chime in that mid-tone. And I haven't even messed around with dialing it in. I could actually bring in the volume because I've got a lot less boost. it back off. Get a little more of that piano kind of tone back in. So there you are with kind of a mid-range boost, just utilizing the red channel to add to your clean, or just kill it, right? Get more of a pop tone. I got still a little too much upper bite in this to get a super funk tone unless I back off the alembics. Right, so you can get a pop tone like that. Now what you could also do is use channel 1 rather, as just a straight sound. So let me mess up my settings. Put on just channel 1, take the boost off, put the drive back. Let's just kind of make it a bass sound. Put a little bottom in there. Match channel 2. Well, actually the frequencies are a little different, so I'm above 1K, so that's about right. But the treble about the same, bass about the same, drive about the same, and the volume, so we're closely matched. Check out this. So the other cool thing is you have two completely different sounding channels. Taking the channel 1 out of crazy distortion and just use it as a bass channel. So you may have two different basses that have a little different tonal characteristics. It's kind of like having a whole other preamp option in this already. Maybe you got a bass that isn't that mid-rangey, and you might put it into the red channel where it's a little more sustainy, a little grindier kind of tone. And go back to this one for like an ultra clean. Go back to the other one. Even back the mids down a little. So you can work the other way around. You can make channel 1 like your main tone and turn channel 2 into like a boost. So you have clean and distortion capabilities, or two different kinds of clean sounds, or actually, you know what, I'll show you the green channel when I put the boost on that. That adds a little treble and a lot more drive. So you get some breakup going on in there. So you got a whole different sound now when you flip the boost up on channel 2 green. And then you can do the same thing, add channel 1 in or flip between them. So now I just turned channel 2 green into like a whole different animal. Compared to when it was off. Put the drive and the volume back up because I'm getting that a little softer, not as aggressive. Put it back up, cut the drive back some. Kind of like that too. So you have all these different options, and actually the BC2 XL and the BC3 work very similar in their characteristics of when you flip those boost switches on, you kind of get a different animal out of that same channel, which is really cool. So your options kind of refresh themselves. You just don't, you're not stuck with just two channels sounding the same. You have almost four different pathways of tone, in addition to if you add the combinations between them. You know, maybe red doing the main sound and the green doing something, so you can add and subtract that way. So you have channel 1 in crazy distortion or a whole different bass sound, channel 2 a whole other kind of bass sound, or flip the boost on, and that gets into a little more bite and drive into that. And playing with the gain and everything just will give you a lot more variation and option. But here's the cool thing. It's really still is very simple preamp. You have bass, mid, and treble. That's it. You're not getting into these weird contour knobs and something that you have no idea what the frequency is. This just basically gets you right there. You want to turn up the bass, cut the bass, it's right there. Same thing with the mid-range. You have a variable frequency capability. You can sweep that, obviously. And the two different channels have different ranges, especially on the G2 mod on this one. The BC1 preamp is a little different animal. That'll be coming up in some other video when I get my hands on it. But this little guy I'm really pleased with. I'm going to probably buy myself a second one just to have. But this is great. I'm going to do another segment on other options you can do with this thing. And again, don't forget, this pedal, check it out. You could take this foot switch and put it somewhere else on your pedal board, right? So, or you just put it next to it, or down here. So I think that's pretty cool, because when I was putting together my other pedal board, you know, certain pedals you want to be able to flip on and off, and you know, you got to do the whole dance and stepping over other pedals. This is great. You can just stick this down at the end and do a combine, you know, add the boost, you know, or toggle back and forth, or vice versa. So I think this is a great idea, and it's super small. Everything's one package now. And also a couple of the features I want to point out. It has effects loops on channel 1 and channel 2, so you can do some really cool stuff. Before I forget, it'll be, you can do this too. Dual output and dual input. I could probably do another segment on that, but I'll give you a brief on this now. So you got dual input, so your Rickenbacker, your Billy Sheehan bass type stuff, dual output basses, you go straight in channel 1 and channel 2, and out one straight to your rig. Or, like I was just saying, you got two effects loops. The effects loops can either obviously put any kind of effects in. What I like to do, and I'm going to try and do a segment on that, is channel 1 I'll put like reverb and effects on that, and channel 2 straight up bass, and that way the effects come in only on that distortion channel, or vice versa. Or you got a flanger, maybe you want effects different on channel 1, different on channel 2, so you could do that instead of just piping it through the in or the out. The other cool thing I found with the channel effects loops is you could take a straight 1/4-inch cable, come out of each channel straight out, and you bypass the main output one if you wish, straight out, and go straight into 2 amps, or I go into my DAW into 2 channels, so I can take the distortion and the clean separately into the recording, and then I can remix them later or do some changes on them later on. So those are the other really cool features. So this little guy here has a lot of features for its footprint. So I think it's a pretty happening pedal. This is going to be the hot ticket, I think. Again, I'm going to get myself a second one just to have. Maybe I'll build a different pedal board, or I'll build myself a smaller pedal board just for kicking around. But this thing's going to sit on my desk, and it's going to be right up there for recording. The other cool thing is I would recommend like the LM1 limiter. Really always sounds good right after one of these pedals. It kind of puts the glue into everything. So I'm going to another segment of on the LM1 limiter at some point too. Anyways, so that's the NanoLab bass preamp. Check it out.